Good morning, gentlemen of Man vs. Fat Swansea. Welcome back to another video roundup of Season 4, Week 10. Phenomenal week last night, chaps. Thank you again to all of you who came down. The attendance figure is exactly the same as last week because it was exactly the same as last week. It felt like a quiet night. I think a lot of boys went pitchside very quickly last night, so upstairs in the weighing room felt rather silent, unusually so, and it felt like a night of lower attendance, but it really wasn't. A number of teams turned up in force. Whites, once again, that's 2 weeks in a row now. They're showing up with all 11 out of 11 guys attending. Fantastic from them. You can see Whites and Blues dominated the bonus goals across the board this week. Kyle Lewis continues to be our percentage leader, shifted more than 10% of his body weight in just this season. 10 weeks, 10%, losing a percent of himself on average a week. Fantastic from him. Scales goals again, dwarfing the pitch goals. We move on to a low weekly club loss for us. 1.8 kilos. These weeks happen. A lot of boys have been busy. A lot of boys been ill. A lot of boys dealing with a lot of personal things and stuff. And these weeks happen. They come along every once in a while. You just have to turn your attention to the total club loss. 10 weeks, over 300 kilos. Absolutely stunning. Hats off to the Blues, lost the most, 4.1 kilos. Orange is doing well, Green's doing well. Top 5 biggest losers. Simon Petherbridge, well done to you, sir. 2.7 kilos is a monumental loss. A couple of the new faces on there, like Ross doing well, Stephen doing well. Phil that guy is just trucking along every single week. Phenomenal from him. He hit his milestone 2 weeks ago, and then since hitting his milestone, he's lost almost 4 kilos. You think about the amount of times any of you who may have hit a milestone that you slow down afterwards, or you take your foot off the gas, you celebrate, you let yourself go a little bit. Phil hit a milestone and is still absolutely smashing the weight loss. Well done to him. You see Lee there as well, having an absolute stormer of a season. Well done to him. TG finally hits his 5% after having some ups and downs. He's had a disrupted journey with us so far. Had quite a few trips away and holidays and working and stuff, and Tuesdays he's missed. It feels like the last 3 or 4 weeks has been him actually sort of knuckling down and getting stuck into it now. And you can see that when he's here, when he's committed, when he's not got anything on the horizon that gets in the way, and he's just got his Tuesday nights to focus on, the guy is unstoppable. Hits his 5%. An absolutely lovely guy as well. There's a lot of unsung support, just with your odd message here or there to not just his teammates, but other guys in the league. I know we have many of them with us in our club, which is one of the things that makes our community superb. But TG is definitely one of the guys that's sort of silently supporting people in the background. I thank him for that. 15% club, Craig Manning finally gets there. Almost had to strip off to everything to achieve it, but he's been chasing it for 5 or 6 weeks now. Hasn't let gains or losses that weren't quite enough knock him off course. Has taken every single week on the chin, gutted, but hasn't come back the next week with big gains as if he's just said, well, screw this, I'm never hitting it and letting it go. He has stayed focused and thought, all right, well, it wasn't this week, it'll be next week. All right, it wasn't this week, I'll have it next week. Stayed focused, stayed committed, and has been rewarded for it. 15%, well done to you. Carol, my man, he's someone who paces everything very well. If he gets close to a milestone, doesn't matter, I'll hit it next week. Just a brilliant attitude from him, an absolute delight to see him at his 15% club. And then Howell Pugh, 20%. Oh man, absolute congratulations to you. I was so chuffed to see you finally hit this. I know you've been chasing it for a long time. One of the things that Howell said to me is that it actually feels like a bit of a monkey off his back. And I think for a lot of us can relate to that. I certainly can when I was chasing down milestones during my journey. There's such a monumental moment of celebration and success, but actually getting there and hitting it can feel like a massive weight's been lifted because you've been chasing it for so long. An absolute deserved 20%. I remember the Howell who walked into that physio room when we were still weighing in downstairs, and it felt a bit like queuing up for the headmaster's office. Week 1 Howell that walked in is a distant memory compared to the player facilitator and deputy coach Howell that we have now, in terms of everything, physically, mentally, psychologically, confidence-wise, belief in himself, his presence, his leadership, his voice within this community. Everything has just come on leaps and bounds since that first week. And yeah, richly deserved 20%. Well done, mate. And into the results, some absolutely superb results here. The kind of results that I like getting my teeth stuck into. The kind of results that make me say things like, but that's not the story. Scranra ran out 12-11 winners against Fatastuta. Incredibly close match. There's Scranra winning on the pitch, but that's not the story because Fatastuta won on the scales, which is very, very poignant, monumental, because the Scales League is currently got 3 teams joint top, Fatastuta being one of them. Yeah, Fatastuta, Marco Banfastin, and the Flying Dutchman, our oranges, our whites, and our purples, are tied at the top of the Scales League right now, and it's little victories like that, 6-5 Scales victory to the oranges, that keeps them neck and neck with potentially picking up the best Scales team in the division trophy at the end of the season. Fantastic from them, both teams on their tracking. Yeah, Scranrod just nicking it by 1 goal. Another incredibly close result between the whoa, I can't talk! Between the Bulks and the Beer Guts. The Bulks losing by 1 goal on the pitch. They had the same amount of tracking, but you can see there the Bulks smashed the Beer Gut 4-1 on the scales. They won 14-12. 3 of those goals coming from that 5% that TG hit. Thomas Griffiths turned what would have been an 11-12 loss into a 14-12 win. And that's the story. That's the point of man versus fat. That's the beauty of this league. A Scales reward for hitting a milestone wins it for his team. Absolutely superb. Well done, TG. Well done to everyone on that team. The new boys who've come in have settled really well. Been a bit of a tumultuous season so far. Seeing quite a lot of turnover and boys leaving and new faces coming in. Seem to be gelling. Seem to be bonding now. Seem to be picking up. I think they will be a force come next season. They're ones to keep your eyes on. Marco Banfastin ran out 19-14 winners against Vinder Blues. Again, though, Vinder Blues took the Scales victory. Yeah, that has a lot of relevance also to the Scales League, with Marco Banfastin losing on the scales and the Oranges drawing on the scales. Purple's caught up with their win. It's going to be incredibly interesting to see which of those 3 teams finishes at the Scales champions at the end of the season. And I think it's a win it versus the Flying Dutchman. 13-all draw, 5-4 on the pitch to the Oranges. It was 4-1, I think, at one point. The Reds did really, really well to fight back into that game. Hats off to Kyle Bamford with their debutant in goal. Absolutely stunning performance for his first week with us. David Rees, absolute delight to have him back out there on the pitch. Looked like he hasn't missed a step with a couple of lovely assists set up for his teammates. And it warms my cockles to have his beaming smile back with us. Even 6-all on the scales. Draw picked up by the Reds for having the better tracking output overall, 3-2. That extra goal for the tracking counteracted the extra goal on the pitch for the Oranges, and it finished 13-all. You can see the Scales champions there, boys. Moving on the slide you're all been waiting to see. These are the guys still left in the Rumble. 10 weeks ago, 90 guys entered. 10 weeks on, we only have 22 of you left. You can see there, guys, these are the last men standing. It is now a straight shootout between these, and looking at it now, I can see a few boxes I haven't quite lined up properly, and that is really triggering me, but I'm going to leave it alone. Yeah, Joel, Mayo, Owen for the Purples, Aaron, Di, Scott, Phil for the Blues, James and Butty for the Greens. You've got the 4 Whites there, Byron, Carroll, Kyle, and Lee. You've got Chrissy Shaw, Howell, Rich Thomas, Snoz for the Blacks, Callum Lee Mayo for the Oranges, Daryl Martin, Gareth for the Reds. All of them are having stonking journeys. All of them, I think, bar maybe Kyle and Daryl. I think Kyle and Daryl are the only ones to have lost every single week, haven't even activated their second lives yet. Other than that, I believe every person on there... Oh, Di. Sorry. Yeah, I'm doing Di as a service. Di Price also lost every single week. There may be a few more that I'm forgetting. But the point I'm trying to make is that the majority of those guys, 95% of the guys on screen, have already used their second lives. So we are in a straight knockout now. 22 guys left. I think there's 1 or 2 who may get reinstated next week with a loss. But there you boys. One of these guys, or multiple of these guys, are going to be a last man, last men standing come week 14. Whoever is left in this list on this screen come week 14 will earn their team a bonus 6 goals. So, yeah, we could very well end up with, I don't know, Blues, for instance, still have those 4 left in at the end, and they score themselves a bonus 24 goals that week. So be it. That's the point of this competition. 22 guys have still, 10 weeks on from the start of the season, lost for at least 9 of those 10 weeks. At least 9 out of 10 weeks. That's unreal. That's unreal. 22 guys for 9 out of 10 weeks. Yeah, just phenomenal progress. Proves that this works. Hats off to all of them. I'm looking forward to seeing these names disappear and the numbers dwindle. 4 weeks to go. Who will win the Rumble? Lovely. Thank you, guys. Thank you to everyone involved in putting on just what is a phenomenal place to be on a Tuesday night. Good luck to all of you. Keep talking, keep sharing in your team chats, keep looking after each other, and we will see you next week. If I can find the stop button. There's the stop button. Right. Ta-ra, guys.